Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican bad man, Sergio, aka the floor price guy. And we're Combat Sport Guys coming back to you with another UFC full card breakdown, this time in the form of UFC Fight Night Kansas City. Machado Garry taking on Carlos Prates in a 5-round main event. Important fight for the welterweight division. We're going to see what Prates is made of up against a tried and true, no longer undefeated, Ian Machado Garry. But before we do that, we're going to go over last week, UFC 314, Volkanovski versus Lopez. Before we get into that, I wanted to ask you, Lopez guy, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. You know, we good. I want to recap last week because last week was pretty good, man.
Before we recap last week, I want to ask you a question because you did go viral last week on X, and I wanted to question you about this this image here. What's going on right here, man? What are you
What's that
doing?
exercise, bro?
What are we doing, brother?
Is this the booty position, bro? What is it? Oh, this is me. I can't say it's not me. I'm wearing the same.
Please, yeah, you can't beat the allegations from there.
There's a bald individual with your same shirt.
She caught you, bro. She caught you. That's your phone number. That's you. What are you doing, man?
This is called the good morning, bro. This is very good for your spine, bro. As you can see, bro, you gotta make sure you lengthen out. You see the booty, bro? The booty's activated, bro. The hamstrings are lengthened, the spine is straight. Is a great exercise, bro. But listen, don't do that in prison. Don't go to prison and drop the soap like a lot of individuals say.
Well, there's something that's concerning to me, brother, because ever since you shaved your beard, you've been acting a little bit suspect. So I don't know what's going on over there. I hope you're doing well, but we'll break down last week's card.
Yes,
so
sir.
Volkanovski, we'll start from the bottom, from the top, go down to the bottom. Volkanovski defeated Diego Lopez in a 5-round bout, right? A unanimous decision victory. I think the judges had it 4-1. I think some of them had it 3-2. But what did you think of the fight? Do you think this was Volkanovski of old, prime Volkanovski, or was this more so Diego Lopez failing to execute and failing to take advantage of the opportunities that he had in that fight? Because he did have him hurt in the second. He did have him blind in the fourth. What did you think?
We know what it is. It's just Lopez didn't perform. Volk looked good. Do not get me wrong, but
yeah. It was never a question of Volk's skill set or fight IQ, right? Because we know what Volk brings to the table. But I also think it was more so Diego Lopez not capitalizing on moments and really finishing the fight when he could have, in my opinion.
And it's the same ferocity he had against Brian Ortega. Where was that fire? And it goes into show you, like, you know, things to kind of take into consideration. And I mean, Topuria had the same. I don't think Topuria had a UFC main event, but Lopez didn't as well. And it's just went into it, main event in 314, lots of pressure, and he just didn't execute. That's really what it was. And the times that he did, he caught him 2 times. It's insane how he hurt him in the second, and a lot of people gave the second to Volk. But like, bro, he literally dropped him. He dropped.
And I think you said it best. Like, that 30-day training wrestling in the United States didn't do him any favors because this fight was primarily standing, right? Volk did try to take him down, I believe, a couple times, and the fight was remained standing. But yeah, we'll see. Volkanovski, you know, he beat all the curses, right? He beat the Drake curse. He beat the former champions over 36, fighting for the title again, losing 2-26, I believe the record was. He beat that curse. So shout out to Volk, the GOAT. You know, he's up there. I don't think the argument is there anymore. I mean, who's your featherweight GOAT? Is it Aldo? Is it Holloway?
It's still Aldo.
Is it Topuria? Is it McGregor? Who's your GOAT?
Nah, McGregor should have, bro. McGregor. Listen, bro. People want to hate
on McGregor. Who's your GOAT? Who's your GOAT?
McGregor, okay, based on performance, McGregor has had the best performance out of all these featherweights, I have to say.
But what Aldo did, right? He's the first.
Aldo is the GOAT. Aldo is the featherweight GOAT. Like, the win streak was good, and people say, "Oh, he's the first 2-time." No, Aldo lost the belt to McGregor.
Yeah,
and he picked it up again against Frankie Edgar, if I'm not mistaken.
We need to check that.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive. So when Aldo lost it, McGregor vacated, and they were going to do the next year UFC 200 with Brock Lesnar.
Oh, I remember.
But
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
when Nate Diaz and Connor had lost, so they were gonna put that one, but they're like, nah. So they did Frankie Edgar versus Aldo for the title, and that's when Holloway fought for the interim against Pettis.
Yeah, a
That's
lot of
when
moving parts, but I don't think this performance takes anything away from Lopez. I think he's gonna learn from this, if anything, and we'll see how he looks on his next time out. Some fights to make in the future: Volkanovski versus Evlov. I think that's the fight to make, right? You put him up against Evlov, and we'll see how that pans out. A lot of people on X are shouting out it should be Silva versus Volkanovski, but I think that's too soon. Give Silva
leap him.
one more
He'll
fight.
take it. He'll take
Yeah,
it.
he'll take it, but I would like to see two more fights. Get someone in the top 5 and then get the championship fight, because he
You
just
know what?
I
Make
think
Yair versus Silva. I think that's a great fight. Yair versus Silva.
yeah.
But you can't because
Well,
Lopez and
no, I'm tired of seeing Silva go up against Strike. Like, he needs a true grappling test. I think Aljamain Sterling would be a good fight.
bro, but they just gave him the guy that relied on grappling the most, and
Yeah, bro. But Bryce Mitchell, his headspace wasn't the best, bro. My man battling CTE early. But we'll move on to the co-main event. Michael Chandler getting knocked out by Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett, key takeaways. He looked huge in comparison to Michael Chandler, right? He looked big. He has that big, long frame. His striking looked good. He answered questions regarding his striking defense. Grappling, we knew it was there. And his cardio, he didn't seem to wither away or be tired. Great performance from Pimblett. I understand that he gets a lot of hate, but I think he has the tool set, man. He's good. I think Pimblett's good.
yeah, and you know what it is, brother? He's just got it. He's just gotten better.
Yeah.
He's just been training, bro. While Chandler's been fucking around, and bro, and here's the thing that kind of irritates the both of us. And after the Oliveira fight, I don't think you and I would bet on Chandler. I
No.
put a little bit of money on the knockout, but I knew it was just in case.
Yeah.
Because at first you saw that first round was
well,
good.
we were banking on the fact that he improved in those 2 years, right? But if you really look at Chandler's record in the UFC, he's 2-6, I think. Is he 2-6 or 2-4?
Oof.
I think he's 2 and is he 2-4, 2-6? Can you double check that?
It's
because I know he beat Dan Hooker and he beat Ferguson.
But then he lost to Poirier, Gaethje,
Oliveira,
Charles again 4 and 5. So he's 2 and 5.
He's 2-5. So his record in the UFC isn't that good, right? He's always fallen to the top guys, and Paddy Pimblett proved that he's that top guy. But he has to fight somebody. I mean, Michael Chandler, it's a good name, right? He's a good placeholder in that division at the time. But let's see what he does against somebody like a Justin Gaethje or a Charles Oliveira, right? See how he fares. But Paddy Pimblett, man, sky's the limit. We'll see what happens. Next up, we had Mitchell taking on Silva.
Sorry, Chad, I gotta say something about Paddy before I forget.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing about it. They dropped some stats, and by dropping stats, if you look at the videos that Paddy Pimblett was in, he outperformed every other UFC fighter.
What do you mean, like in numbers? Oh, you're talking about numbers.
Views. Actually,
yeah. Well, he's extremely popular. You look at him; he's goofy. He has the accent. He has the tools to be a star, right? He just has to put it together because he has everything else. Because not a lot of people have the fan base because they often fall flat because they don't speak English, right? But you have somebody who speaks English. He has the accent. He's entertaining. He's goofy. He's fucking dancing, right? I think he can get there, man. Imagine if he becomes champ.
He should become what they need to do, brother. So after this fight, we actually need to sit down and watch the Topuria interview with Joe Rogan.
I watched it. I watched it before we filmed.
You watched it entirely?
He said that Topuria said that he's pretty adamant on fighting for the title. He was promised the title fight, but what he envisions in his mind is Paddy Pimblett fights Justin Gaethje. He beats Gaethje. He thinks he's going to beat Gaethje. He thinks he's going to walk through Gaethje. And then once, you know how Topuria talks, once he beats Makhachev, him and Pimblett in Spain, main event. That's his goal. That's his goal. Because he thinks that fight with Pimblett would be huge in Madrid.
I mean, he mentioned Connor. I think make Topuria and Connor, bro.
Topuria said that he wouldn't fight Connor if he got offered the fight. before
He
Islam. He,
wouldn't.
he he wants to fight Islam. That's his like. He was
Okay.
promised it. He wants to fight Islam. So he says that in the interview, and then he says that Chandler versus not Chandler, McGregor versus Pimlet would be big. I mean, that'd be a fight to make too. But I think McGregor, if he were to come back, I don't think he is. I think I've accepted he's not coming back. Right, my man. You know, driving Lambos. He's on yachts. He's fucking partying all night with streamers.
Yeah.
He's doing extracurricular activities. You know, consuming some things. Um, I don't think he's gonna come back. But if he does, Michael Chandler would be a great opponent, right? Michael Chandler's 2-5. I mean, if you can't beat Michael Chandler, brother, what are we doing?
Well, it's an entertaining, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's what I was gonna say about Chandler. Is like when it comes to betting, brother, we don't bet on entertainers. Bet on people that want to win fights, unless
yeah,
it's a huge gamble.
yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. I 100%. And I think Chandler has realized that, right? He probably realized, like, hey, listen, I'm old. I'm 38. I'm probably not gonna get the title. Let me just go out there and perform as much as I can, right, and be entertaining. And it is what it is, man. Moving down here, we had Mitchell versus Silva, one of the most anticipated fights of the night based on the feud that they have. I think it was in the second round? In the second round, Silva gets him in a ninja choke and puts his lights out and then stands over his corpse and barks like he always does. What did you think of this fight? I think a lot of people had placed the wager that Silva was going to knock him out in the first round. And, you know, Mitchell did, you know, he did enough to survive that first round, but his takedowns were defended really well by Silva. I think they did their homework, right? Like every time he shot for the takedown, he snapped up the ghillie or snapped up the ninja choke, and he really like defended it to the best that he can. And the second round came to fruition and he tapped him out. What did you think, man?
John Silva is him. The
Look
fact that
good, huh?
he looked good. A lot of people are turning on him a little bit because of the showboating, but brother, that man has seen a lot of things in his life. That man, like, you want to talk about a crazy fighter? John Silva is in there, bro. He's happy and crazy at the same time. Bro, he likes chaos. When he gets in there, bro.
Yeah, I didn't know. I think you're the one that showed me. Like I saw the video too.
The mom.
I
Yeah.
verified that he shares a story about I don't know if he saw his mom getting sexually assaulted, right?
Yep.
And then
Yep.
he witnessed his mom, or he heard, or his mom ended up killing her assailants, right? Like the people who assaulted her. And I mean, that's traumatizing for anybody, right? One, you seeing your mom getting assaulted, and two, your mom's going out there and killing these people. Like, so he's seen a lot of stuff, right? He's seen a lot of stuff and he's overcame a lot of stuff. So yeah, I could see why people are turned off by his antics. I think one thing that he does really well is he gets in his opponent's head, right? Like, you know, in the fight, he's out there, he's trying to dap you up, he's trying to like, but I think those are all like, to me, those are all actions to measure his opponents, right? Like, okay, this is the distance I need, right? Like, you get what I mean? But
Yep.
anyways, yeah, he looked good, man. We'll see what's next for him. And then Mitchell, I don't know, man. I don't know. You
Let's see.
freeze?
No, I'm good. I'm vibing.
Oh, you're
I'm
there.
just
Okay.
like thinking about. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good.
Yeah. Okay. And then next up, we had Yair Rodriguez taking on Patricio Pitbull, making his UFC debut. Now, a lot of people were on the side of Pitbull because of, you know, if you've been watching MMA, you follow the sport, you know what he's done and he's accomplished in Bellator and another organization, right? The lightweight champion, the featherweight champion, the reign that he's had. But he's also 36, right? Like if this was, and I tweeted this, I was like, people are picking Pitbull thinking this is 2018, 2019, but this is 2025. And one of the reasons why we picked Yair was because we watched Pitbull's last 3 fights, right? Where he got knocked out and then he got outclassed by Sergio Pettis, right? And Yair kind of incorporated the same game plan as Sergio Pettis. He was on the outside, right? Utilizing his leg kicks, utilizing his jab. And Yair looked good, man. Yair looked good. I think he even hurt Pitbull right in the 3rd round. He dropped him in the 3rd round. Yeah. So
with the jab cross, bro. He fucking
yeah,
but it's like we knew, bro. We like the thing is just based on distance alone,
yeah,
we knew. Like we knew. And the thing is, Volkanovski had a good round against Yair because of Volkanovski has good distance too.
yeah.
Pitbull with the Pettis fight, it was there. And even Pettis say, I'm the first guy to crack the code. But Pettis wasn't as active as Yair is. Yair was,
No,
bro,
no,
when he gave him a jab, the way he was throwing it, da-da.
yeah, and he looked visibly bigger, like he's worked, like he's packed a bit of muscle. Yeah, like his frame looked a lot better, and you could argue that maybe he can get the shot against Volkanovski, right? He said, I think he posted it on Twitter or Instagram that, hey, you and me in Mexico, let's do it. That'd be a banger fight.
Him and Diego Lopez,
Rematch?
bro. They gotta settle the Marco. They gotta settle Marco. Who the fuck is Marco?
Yeah, who the fuck is Marco? Who the fuck is that guy? Next up, we had Reyes, the underdog, taking on Nikita Krylov, who's been out for 2 years, right? I think Reyes, he's on a 3-fight winning streak, man. Knocked out Anthony Smith, knocked out did he knock out Jacoby? He knocked out Jacoby, right?
Yeah,
he knocked out Jacoby, and now he knocked out Krylov, and he said, give me one more, and then give me the championship, give me a title shot. What do you think of Reyes, man? Do you think this is his resurgence? You think he's back, or you think he needs one more fight against somebody tough, like I don't know. If Jamal Hill doesn't come back because he's been injured so much, right? Do you think him and Khalil is a good fight?
No, Khalil's taken, but here's what you could do.
Khalil's taken by who?
Khalil Roundtree? Hill.
Yeah. I'm saying if Hill doesn't come back because he's injured, do you think Reyes and Khalil is a good fight?
But they locked horns already. So that fight is already happening in let me look it up. It actually got announced last week. 1 second. Hill versus Roundtree.
I don't think it got announced.
Yeah, and it got announced in kind of like I want to say Turkey, one of these countries like that.
Oh yeah. You're right.
And people were complaining because they were like, "How do you?"
Yeah, Fiziev is not on the card. Yeah. Okay,
yeah. There it is. It's June 21st.
Mm-hmm.
So June 20. Let me just put it here. This is the.
You're right. I did see that. You're right.
But people were a little bit mad, bro, because
people always mad, bro. Quit being mad. Quit bitching, bro. Quit fucking bitching.
Yeah, but sorry, going back into Reyes. Here's what you do, champ. I think it's very simple. How you need to kind of deal with it.
Break it to me. How do you do it?
Pereira's fighting Magomedov. Reyes is coming up. Jiri doesn't have a dance partner.
Magomed. Jiri.
No.
Magomed. No, you said Magomed.
Magomed, it will be fighting Pereira for
No, but you said Magomedov. I mean, I just corrected.
Yeah, have Magomedov fight Pereira and put the co-main event Dominic Reyes versus Jiri, and the winner of that fights the winner of the title. And that's how you deal with that. I think it's a great.
Well, I think they're gonna give Jiri Uber. No,
I wouldn't give
it. You got Uber up there, man.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't. Point fighter. After his last performance, bro. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to see him fight for a belt. I know it sounds bad, right? It sounds bad, but it's true.
It's a style, man. I think it's it's the Lerone Murphy mindset. You sometimes what the dangers the other guy brings, so you gotta fight that way.
He did win. He did win that fight. Jan, but it was close. It was a split decision.
Yeah, I think you can give it to Jan. It depends on how you look at it. And then this fight right here is what really pissed me off. Money aside, this pissed me off because my man, look, don't look at the pick, right? Don't look at who I picked. Don't look at who floor price picked. Just look at the fight itself. My man, he was visibly hurt. He shot for the takedown. He was getting hits to the head, but he was actively moving up. He was actively trying to secure that takedown, come back to his feet, and the ref stopped the fight. And on top of that, when they go to the scorecards, they had Ige up, 2 rounds to none. What are we doing over here, brother? You can argue that fight was 1-1 going into the third round, right? Or if it was to end, end the second round and go into the third, you could argue that it was 1-1, or it was 1, to Sean, and then obviously he was going to lose the second round because he got clipped, right? But yeah, man, that really upset me, and it kind of killed.
What happened in the third round, eh?
Was it because it was going to be over 2? Yeah. Okay. So 1-1, and then
the second.
Yeah. Yes,
it felt like that stoppage was in the second for some reason. It feels like it
was in the second. But yeah, man, that just upset me for so many reasons because and I mentioned to you off air, these guys put in a lot of work, they train right to get to this moment, and for it to be ended like that in that fashion is kind of it makes the sport look kind of whack, in my opinion. You get me? Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I could understand what happened is that you see a finish. What was the first late finish we had? Sorry.
You're thinking about you.
No, I'm thinking about
What?
Elkas and Rosa. The Elkas and Rosa fight that happened, that was a late stoppage. Let's be honest, right?
Well,
When
you also look at Torres versus who do you fight? What's the guy's name again? Forget his name. Dude with the chin in Mexico. Torres. He knocked him out, and you know he said that the referee wanted to murder him.
Dober, yeah.
Over, right? Like that was a late stoppage too. So like, what are we basing the stoppages on? Like, oh, how strong a guy is, how much they endure.
No,
Like, what are we basing it
well,
on?
no, I mean the psychology sometimes. And let's be honest with you, all these refs are watching the fights.
Yeah,
So
they know. Yeah,
if you're a ref watching the Elkas and Rosa fight, and you're being like, "Damn, he fucked up," because you know he let it go a little bit too much.
yeah,
Then when you see something as similar to that, bro, I think it was 2 to 3 seconds where Ige was hitting him,
yeah,
and Woods, like, the thing is, they're going to, like, they won't overturn that. Like, that's going to be good because they're going to be like, you should have done something. Now the question is, did the referee go up and said, Woodson, you need to work. Woodson, you need to give me, because the responsibility of the referee when a fighter's like that, give me more. If the fighter shows that he goes for, okay, let it go. Even if he's getting hurt, he's giving you a sign. But
yeah.
I don't know if that happened, right? I don't know how much.
It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. He was awarded the TKO win, and you know we'll move on. 50K Ige. He snapped the was it 3-fight losing streak or 2-fight losing streak? I think it was 3 fights.
It was
He
3,
that
but I'll say this: like, Woodson was looking good. It's just he was almost there because he was fading a little bit.
Yeah.
And Ige was starting to like get on the inside, body head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this loss should hopefully it motivates Woodson, and you need to become you got to go for the kill. Like, okay, let me say this: Woodson, they call him the sniper because he snipes people up. But I think I told you this versus Dan Ige, he's a dog. It's gonna take more than snapping him. He's gonna come forward.
I think he needs to incorporate a kicking game with how long he is. He needs to utilize those legs, man. Pack a little bit of muscle, man. He has them chicken legs.
Pack a little bit of muscle. Who's lengthier, Rodriguez or Woodson? That's a very good question.
Woodson's huge, man. Woodson's like what, 6'2"?
Yeah, man. This guy needs to start using those, like, because even with the hands you're kind of exposed, but with the leg you could kick.
Yeah, if he throws in a calf kick or something or a body kick, like, dude, he'd be good. Like, he'd keep everybody away. Like, nobody would try to dare to come close because he has so many tools to keep him at bay. But we'll see what.
Let's see how he evolves, right? We're gonna learn how better he comes.
Let's move on here. We had Yan Janan taking on Jandiroba. Verna Jandiroba. I think this is an important fight for the division, right? And the fact that it was on the prelims is kind of weird, right? It should have been on the main card, in my opinion. But, you know, we had both chosen Yan Janan because of her continuous improvement in the takedown defense, right? And she did look good in moments of the fight, but Jandiroba is just too strong, right? She pushes her up. She shoots for the double. She pushes her opponents towards the fence, and then she secures the takedowns. And she got it done, right? Just by controlling Yan. I'm not fully sold on her as a champion. Like, you know, obviously she's gonna get the title shot, but I don't see her having that success as a champion because she doesn't have the striking. She doesn't have the striking. She doesn't set up her takedowns. She just bullies her way to takedowns, right?
But let's be honest with each other. Who's stronger by brute strength? Jan or Jandiroba? We know it's Jandiroba, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now who's stronger? Weili or Jandiroba? Weili.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It defeats her main strength.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. Like, I don't think she's gonna struggle against the champ because the champ is good, man. The champ is. We saw what she did to Suarez, right? Like, you remember what she did to Suarez? Everybody before fight was like, "Oh, Suarez is gonna maul her. She's gonna control her, take her to the ground." And what happened?
You know, for that fight, she was a minus 250.
Yeah, we made money that night. Right? We made money that night, but
minus.
I'm not completely like Jandiroba on the ground. She's amazing, right? No one's arguing. You know, her submission threat. It's there, but I don't like how she sets up her takedowns and her striking. I think it needs to improve, man. Especially if she's trying to get to that championship level. But anyways, we'll move on here to Old Man Miller. Your most confident pick, if I'm not mistaken.
That was not my most confident.
You did say that, bro. Don't make me clip it. You said you want to know my most confident pick.
fight that I said there was such at okay
No,
at
no,
the
no.
rate.
You said you want to know my most confident pick? It's right here. It's Miller. And I said, really? You said, yeah.
That's crazy. If I take that, I'll take ownership.
You did say that. You did say that. But Miller against Hooper, right? Hooper is just he's getting better, man. Like his
He's young,
striking is getting
bro.
better. He's
He's
young.
young.
And then
He's young.
it was funny because me and you we text during the fights, right? And after the first round, you're like, oh, Hooper's getting tired, man. Like he's huffing. This is what I wanted. And then we get into the second round and he's just working him. And I'm like, he's getting tired, huh? He's getting gassed,
Yeah,
right? Who's getting
that
tired? Who's
I
getting
was
gassed?
calling to what do you call it?
You
Projecting.
were speaking it into existence.
I was projecting
Manifesting
it,
it.
and it's just like, yeah, he ragdolled him on the ground. Like, well, and that's the thing when you have that much length, and the thing is,
Yeah.
Hooper has been known to gas out, but it just looks like he's just better this time around. He's just gotten, he's better. I would like for him to face somebody a little bit more, not on the veteran side. Stop feeding this guy veterans.
Well,
Stop
that's what
feeding.
I respected about him in his post-fight interview. He said, "Hey, stop feeding me these old guys. Clay Guida, Jim Miller.
Don't
Like, give me
accept it.
somebody in the top 10, 15. Give me
Okay,
somebody
don't
in the top
accept
10."
it because when he gets offered fights, I bet he gets offered 3 to 4, all of them, 3 to 4, and then you work with what they give
Well, it's
you.
a slow progression, right? Like he probably under his camp and him probably understand, like, hey, I need to be tested against these guys, before I fully make the jump to the
Do you
top
imagine
10.
they give him Bobby King next? Wouldn't that be it?
Well, he called out Fares Zion, bro, and I was like, yo, stay away from my boy Fares. We got other plans, bro. What are we doing, bro? We're trying to choke him out? Relax.
Who's gonna choke who out? That
Hooper. Hooper's trying to choke him out.
that knee, bro, like that. Zam
Oh,
is
yeah, yeah. Mike Davis is different, though. But we'll move on here to Darren Elkins, who we both picked based on his just sheer dog mentality, right? And his tenacity to withstand punishment and, make it to the end of the fight and incorporate the wrestling up against Julian Erosa, who has, can struggle against wrestler or can struggle against people who push the pace. But Elkins looked bad, bro. He looked like he was downing a couple beers in the back and he came out using the drunken style, bro. And I was like, what is my man doing? What's going on over here? He got beat. And I hope he hangs him up, man, because my man can't take any more punishment, dude. That was bad. He looked bad. He looked his age and he looked bad.
It was a very big strike, and he kept fighting. Like, bro,
It was
he was
the upkick. It was the upkick.
Yeah, it was the upkick. But here's the thing: Elkins prior was clipping Erosa.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just weird because Erosa should take it, but it's like, why is he getting clipped? Even when he was wobbles, he was clipping him. Like he was doing that overhand and clicking. And I'm just like, this is such a strange fight. Erosa got it done, but Erosa needs to tighten up his defenses, man.
Yeah, man, he needs to tighten up his defenses, UCJ, and he got it done. And Darren Elkins, man, just if you're watching or if you're not watching this, but if you ever watch this, of course he's watching this. What the hell? He watches this shit. If you're watching this, take it easy, brother. Don't take any more punishment like that. Man. You don't need
a farewell fight, bro. Take a farewell fight.
Take a farewell fight. Next up, we had SDS up against Mikhail Olenjaychuk. I can never say that name, bro. I practice that name off air. I'm in the mirror practicing, and I say it right. And then when it comes to saying it, on the stream, bro, I fucking crack under pressure. But anyway,
just call him the Poland guy, bro.
We're gonna call him Mikhail, bro. Mikhail up against Dumas, looked good, right? Dumas, knocked him out, man. Put him out cold. What you think?
We knew it was coming. Well, we didn't know he was training with the fighting nerds. I didn't know that.
I knew that. That wasn't why I picked him. I picked him because the level of the competition that he faces, right? Like if you look at his last, like he's 1-5, but look at who he faced, right? He faced a fucking like you like to call it murder row. What do you call it?
Murder's row, bro.
Murder's row of fighters, right?
He beat Roundtree. You know that, right? When Roundtree was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but if you look at his, like, people look at the losses and this guy's washed, he's done. But look at the people he fought, man. Like those guys are all like up there.
His last loss was I think Holland.
Shara. Wasn't it? Was it Holland or Shara?
Who did you mention?
Shara Magomedov. Bullet.
No, it was Holland. It was Holland. Maybe I'm positive, but I'll tell you this, bro. Like there was no way that man was losing. I'll tell you that right now.
No,
No
there was
way.
no way because Dumas struggles with the pressure, man, and that's exactly what my man brought.
And he got upset at the ref. He thought it was a late stoppage. So remember, he got upset.
Yeah,
But yeah, shout out.
you
I
look.
knew it wasn't gonna happen. I knew when this guy locks in, he kind of gets that like
It was Shera, bro.
it was Shara.
It was Shera. He lost in 2024 to Shera Magomedov via unanimous decision, and then before that, he lost to Kevin Holland via submission. Then
So he's
Michel
been out for a
Pereira.
while, eh?
Yeah, then Michel. No, he was gone for a year, exactly 1 year.
Mm.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
good win. Good win. Next up, we had Mitch Rapos, man. This fight also pissed me off because you had every opportunity to take a guy down, which he did. He took the guy down and not do anything with it. You get me? It's like, think of it like, let me put it in a way that maybe you understand and maybe the people watching understand. You have a girl that's basically telling you, like, hey, give it to me. Like, I want you, like, hey, but I'm not gonna make the first move. I need you to initiate because
Crazy.
I'm a lady. I'm classy. I need you to initiate, but I'm not gonna initiate because I have morals. I'm not gonna initiate. I'm a lady. And he didn't do anything with it. He didn't take the signals, bro. He was fucking shy.
I
He
ain't gonna
took
get
my man
canceled
down and
because of
didn't
you,
do
bro.
anything. No, bro,
You're
get
not
me
gonna
canceled. Bro,
cancel me,
cancel
bro.
me, bro. Listen, bro, I'm done with life. Cancel me, bro. I've given up. Cancel me. But anyways, you get what I'm saying, right? Like he secured, I don't know how many takedowns. Do you have the stat? I don't have the stat in front of you, but he secured X amount of takedowns.
Let's not look at it.
And Sumarderji, to his credit, was able to bring the fight up standing right away, right? And then get back to his game plan. And it's very upsetting because I know that Mitch Raposo is good. Like I saw the film, I picked him, and it's just upsetting, bro. But maybe he's not at that level, man. Maybe he's not at this level. He's had 4 cracks.
It's basically low IQ. I call it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have good fight IQ because the thing is like the takedowns were working. I understand you don't want to strike. That's totally fine. But what is the purpose of getting him to the fence if he has more chances of coming up? Get him outside of the fence. All you got to do was reset the fight every time. Reset the fight. And I'm shocked to give him a split decision, bro. I'll be honest with you.
I'm shocked he didn't incorporate any ground and pound. He didn't do anything, bro. He was just holding on until my man got up.
He couldn't. Like I think
it's just unfortunate, man.
Suma was very good, but it's just the thing I will never understand, bro. Like it's like Khabib. Bro, when Khabib fought, I don't know if you remember this guy called Abel Trujillo.
Mm-hmm.
Abel Trujillo had Abel had around, like when they fought, Khabib took him down like I want to say 20 to 40 times.
Damn. That
bro, like, if you look at those stats, it's like insane.
Crazy.
But you know why? Because he kept coming up. So when you keep coming up, what do? Take him down again. Come up, take him down again. Like, but repeatedly. So I think Raposo, he might get cut. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I didn't bet on him, but I did have him to win, and
yeah,
the split decision and the takedown says the tail. Yeah. But Suma's a good fight. Suma's a very hard fight now.
He trains with my boy, Yadong Song, man. I know your favorite fighter. Team Alpha Male.
Did you know that I share the same? You're gonna fuck it. I don't know if you're gonna. I share the same birthday as the president of China. Did you know that? Anyways.
Oh really? Do you guys do like any joint birthday parties? Like
I wish they tell me, Sergio, let's give you the speed treatment. Come to China. Let's
the speed treatment. That's funny, man.
The speed treatment.
We don't have so we are filming this early. I don't know why speed reminded me of this, but we are filming this early. The UFC Kansas City card does not happen until April 26th. The reason there is no, you know why there's no card this weekend?
Yeah, WrestleMania.
My man, smart man, dude. I knew you were smart, brother. I knew you weren't all beauty and body and figure. You got some brains back there, baby. You got some brains back there. But yeah, it's because of WrestleMania. Speed reminded me of WrestleMania. So WrestleMania is this weekend. They're under the same company, right? The same umbrella. So
there's like 3 events too.
And like I didn't know this, bro, because I haven't watched wrestling forever. I didn't know that WrestleMania now is a 2-day event. I didn't know that it's Saturday and Sunday. That's crazy.
Yeah, because it's
back in my day, it was just Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't know either, but it's the Super Bowl. But they're doing they're doing a Friday and a Saturday. They're doing a Friday and a Saturday. So there's going to be a couple of different events. I think 3 to 4.
Because I know that they do like the Hall of Fame induction. They have that like on Friday night, right? I think they have the Hall of Fame ceremony, and then I just didn't know that they have NXT. I think I don't know what they have, but it's crazy. It's crazy. I haven't watched wrestling in forever, so we'll see.
I've been watching. I've been trying to.
I might watch it. I might watch it. Nothing else to do this weekend. Really.
Watch WrestleMania. I think you got to watch it to kind of see what the boys are doing, but from a perspective of like, yeah.
That's all I gotta say. It's not the same anymore, brother. It's not the same. But yeah, I don't know why maybe Speed because he was in the Royal Rumble kind of reminded me of that. But anyways,
generation, I'll call it another generation. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Next up, we have Trishan Gore being defeated by Tulio in a vicious KO. Man, the ref stopped it, right? One thing to take away from this fight is Gore is durable, man. My man took punishment. He took some hits, and then Tulio is good, man. He the one thing that I think I told you was I want to see him work on his striking defense. Is it his head movement, and his foot movement, right? Kind of set up his jab a little bit more, but he's deadly, man. He's good.
Everything was landing.
Everything was landing, man.
That's why
this dude's winning. This dude's winning in life, man. He's got Norma Dumont. He's got Norma Dumont by his side, and he's on a 2-fight win streak in the UFC.
Yeah. You remember who called Norma Dumont versus Irene Aldana, bro? Do you remember that fight, bro?
I don't remember, brother. Listen, anything that happened last year, I do not remember, bro. I don't blame you, bro. From January 1st, 2025 is all I remember, brother.
I wouldn't remember either, bro. I wouldn't remember either. It's okay, but I do remember.
We need some Dumont fight news, but yeah, go ahead.
Julio, she's. They're taking time because she's close to a title fight, so. Let's see. But I'll say this, Tulio up and coming. Gore caught him a couple times. It's just the conditioning. Everybody will say, like, the broadcasters, man, I have to say something. This UFC fight, I didn't like the commentating as much.
Bro, the commentary, like on a lot of cards, I don't like, bro. Because
the last
they either glaze somebody too much, right? Like I think Bisping is one of the worst ones, bro. Like he says things that are just outlandish, like it's just crazy, bro. And then sometimes Joe Rogan in DC can kind of what are we talking about, bro?
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Because their job is to freestyle, improvise a little bit. But why am I saying that? Because they kept saying, "Oh, Tula's doing a lot of power. Oh, he's probably gonna gas out in a bit, brother." Let him be, because what was happening is Gore matched him, and then he didn't back. Did Tulio look tired? No, bro. Tulio didn't stop. Tulio was just on a spinning kick.
Looked good, man.
He looked good.
And one of the things he said in his post-fight interview was, I have a lot of tools and I want to showcase them. I have the grappling, I have submissions. I want to show you guys that I have way more tools, but let's find out. And then opening up. What's up?
Give him Jerry Cannonier, bro.
So you could pick Jared and
hell yeah.
Next up, we had the women's bout opening up the card. Nora Cornell missing weight, defeating Haley Cowan via submission. Cornell looked good, man. We expected her to win, right? I didn't expect her to get the sub. I mean, I don't know what the plus money on that was, but she looked good, man. And then after the fight, she ends up calling out the twerker herself, Aileen Perez. I don't think Aileen takes that fight, though. I think Aileen wants to fight above her, right? But what do you think?
Unless Aileen wants to test run something, I don't think she should take that fight.
No. I think Aileen wants to fight the top 5 and then go for a title.
Yeah, but Cohen is funny because, like, I saw the Brazilian flag and I'm like, But, yeah, bro, Cohen was... I don't know what camp she is, bro, but I sometimes feel that a lot of these camps do a disservice to their fighters, like giving them such a killer. You feel me? Like it was very significant, and I think at one point didn't Cohen take her down? So yeah, I think so. Yeah, Cohen took her down, but just outpowered her, reversed her. I think like when the women's division was a little bit new, bro. There
Yeah.
were so many like, how do you say this? Inconsistent fights, but like somebody fighting a very good fighter versus a girl that's not that
There was a
good.
skill gap. There was a skill
Yeah,
gap.
yeah, and it's just like I'm not gonna say that's what you saw here, but you see it more in MMA. Sorry, more in women's MMA now more than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, their camp needs to not, bro. Cohen should have never fought that a top 13 fighter. Let's be
Yeah.
honest with you, bro. Never, absolutely not. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It is what it is, as a famous man once said. So that is, go back to that. That is our recap, right? As something that we always try to do is we try to put out our picks and our bets on X prior to the fight, to the fights occurring, obviously, and we always try to remain transparent in that. So we both, we both went 8 of 12, and on that card we were a little more trigger happy with the dogs in that fight, right? And I think we chose a lot of dogs, and I think the only two dogs to win that fight was Reyes and Ige, who was gifted the win. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now we have UFC Kansas City. Machado Garry taking on, what was this? What's going on? Oh, what's going on? What was that? I'm just kidding. That was that's the card, right? How do you say that? Oh, you closed it out. Never mind.
Close it, bro. We locked in, bro, man. What's going on?
We locked in, right? So let's get into this card. We are giving you this breakdown early. Our picks are subject to change as the week progresses. I don't think they're going to change much, but you never know. Sometimes we might see something that might make us change, right? We might learn something. We might see something, but rarely do we change, right?
Yeah.
All right. Kicking up the card, we have Yosalin La Pantera Edwards taking on Chelsea Chandler. Now, Chandler is 6-3-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Yana Santos via unanimous decision, whereas Edwards is 14-6-0 and is also 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Tamiris Vidal via submission. Now, Chandler, when you look at her, she has an aggressive kickboxing base who has a background in Muay Thai. She delivers heavy punches and knees. Her weakness, however, is wrestling. Her takedown defense isn't the best. I think in the UFC it's at 50%, and she has struggled, particularly like again if you look at her last fight, like and her record, Norma Dumont was able to have success with the takedowns, right? And that's something that most fighters do when they're going up against a striker, right? If they have weak takedown defense, they're gonna look to take them down. And she's going up against somebody in Jocelyn Edwards, who has the grappling upside, right? She has 3 submission wins. Her last fight, she had the rear naked choke over Tamiris Vidal, who, she's a brawler, right? And that's kind of like the breakdown that we had similar to this one. Her jiu-jitsu is optimistic. She has decent striking. She's an I don't want to say she's a technical striker, but she has the reach, right? She has the reach. She's going to be able to land from the outside and then incorporate, like set up the jab on the outside and then shoot for the double leg and take the takedown that she needs in this fight to be successful. I think Edwards in this fight's going to be victorious because she has the reach. She's going to be able to secure takedowns up against Chandler, who has weak takedown defense, and she's possibly going to end this fight, man. Maybe get a sub, maybe get ground and pound, but I think this fight finishes inside the distance. What do you got?
Strong Edwards, man. Sorry.
Is there any bias in that because she's Dominican or no?
No, she's not Dominican.
Okay. She's not Dominican.
Body of a Dominican woman, though. I gotta say, like she's Norma Dumont. Respectfully.
She's not Dominican. Isn't that the Dominican flag? Am I uncultured? That's not the Dominican flag.
It's Panama, bro. It's Panama.
That's Panama. I'm tripping. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to disrespect.
She looked Dominican, though. She looked Dominican. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man, I'm sorry, man. That's
it's okay, bro.
I'm an uncultured swine.
It's crazy, bro, because you're like your culture in Mexico is Texas. Dominicans are not even close to Panama. Eh? So
you say Texas? What the fuck you say Texas for?
Down the border. We don't talk about the border, bro. I'm just fucking around. Let me pull the map.
Go continue, brother.
We're gonna have to pull the map, bro. Wait, no.
My boy, listen, there's multiple borders in the U.S., bro. We got the Arizona border, we got the San Diego border.
What do we got over here, bro? You clown the shit out of me, bro. What do we got over here, bro? Tell me, bro.
Listen, brother.
What do we got here, bro? This is Trump's board, and let's not get into politics, bro. But anyways, Edwards by Strong, bro. The you know what it is, brother?
What's
I
up?
like Reach. I also like somebody that's been showing dominance. Her only issue, champ, is the scale.
Well,
Now
they
the
both have issues with the scale. So I was gonna ask you, both these women have missed weight in the past. I think in their past fights, past two fights, they missed
but
weight.
has Chelsea Chandler done multiple times? Like
Double check that. I know she missed. I want to say in her last fight, but can you double check how many times she missed weight? I think
because
she's missed it multiple times. So I was gonna ask you, what do you think the bet would be if they, one of them misses weight? Look at how much you weighed, bro.
wow, yeah.
How many times for a second straight fight? So yeah, multiple times, brother. That's what these girls like to
Wow,
eat, brother. It's all
that's
good.
crazy.
I love me a woman who can eat. That's not bad.
Yeah,
But you
but the
have one
fact,
job, right? You have one
but
job.
yeah, but the issue is these women are 145ers, and unfortunately, there's no division. Let's be honest with you, right? Um, yeah. So if there's a bet, I could just tell you this: these both women will agree to fight at a catch weight at 140 pounds. Could we bet on that?
You want to bet on
Because
that? Let's bet on
yeah,
that.
you can we bet on that? Because knowing these two women don't make weight, they're gonna be like, can we agree to fight 140?
I think
You know,
Jocelyn's gonna make weight. I have a feeling she's gonna make weight. I have a
I
feeling she's
think they
gonna take
both
it.
fight at 140. They'll make an agreement. It's just it makes no sense for two girls that always miss weight, but we're going strongly. I think this is my highest conviction.
No, man, don't start that, man.
But it's
Last time you did
true,
that,
champ.
yeah, it's true. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you.
It's just everything: grappling, striking.
No, she's
She
good. She
has
has the reach.
very
I think she's gonna be able to set up her takedowns well.
yeah. And then the loss to Perez, like, and even look like her losses to Nora. Nora's a good fighter. Nora
Dog,
is.
dog.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
and then part of that, I don't care about the part of that. I think that she's just getting better.
Yeah, she's getting better. And we'll move on. We're both going with Jocelyn Edwards to kick off the card. I think this card's going to change. So this is the way it's set up at the moment, but we'll move on to our next bout in Timmy Cuamba taking on Roberto Romero. Cuamba's 8-2-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Lucas Almeida via unanimous decision. Romero is 8-4-1 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to David Onama via unanimous decision. He did come in on short notice and he did look good in that fight. He dropped Onama on the ground. He wasn't able to get it going, but he did get some takedowns. He did get some control time. He looked good in that fight on short notice. When you look at Cuamba, he's a well-rounded fighter. He trains out of Extreme Couture. He's resilient. He's gone the distance in both his UFC losses, but against Lucas Almeida, even though he lost via unanimous decision, he was dropped a bunch of times. So that shows like how durable he could be, right? Up against somebody like Lucas Almeida, who does have power behind his strikes. His striking is good. He has the volume and power. Say he has a bit of pop in his shots. His weakness, however, similar to the last fight we broke down, is the takedown defense. He's going up against Romero. If you study Romero, if you look at Romero, he's well-rounded. He's primarily a grappler, but his striking is decent. It holds up enough. His stand-up is technical. It's not high volume. So you have somebody like Cuamba who throws with more volume up against somebody who's more technical. He is a counter striker. And then on the ground, he has good boxing fundamentals. I have my notes. I'm sorry, they're all over the place. He has good boxing fundamentals. It's just the output, right? Volume versus technique. But I think in this fight, his grappling is going to be his asset. It's going to be his key to victory. I think he's going to be able to secure some key takedowns, work, use his Brazilian jiu-jitsu, maybe put him out. Who knows? Cuamba's pretty tough, but I think based on how Romero looked on his short notice UFC debut fight against David Onama, who's really good on the striking end, and it was able to drop him, I think he's going to look well here against Timmy Cuamba. I'm going to go with Romero to pull out the victory. I think for him to win, he's going to have to close the distance, not chase Cuamba, not chase him, but close the distance, get in tight, get in the pocket, use his counter striking, and then secure key takedowns to win this fight. So I'm going to go with Romero to win. I like him.
Yeah,
I was impressed with his performance.
There's not that many Bodog bets, but Try to see if I catch Yeah, I'm gonna go with Romero. Simple as that. Just like what I saw against Oman. Like you got to consider something, bro.
Mhm.
Romero fought what could be debatable this coming, and he's also a featherweight. There, Romero is fighting featherweight, but he fought David, and he almost knocked David out. Let's not forget
Mhm.
about that. So what does that? I know MMA sometimes doesn't make math, but David fights this weekend against Giga. What if
Yeah.
David beats Giga? It gives more, more
Oomph, more oomph.
to more swag to Romero. So we're going with Romero. Um, yeah, I like Romero.
Cool. We're both going Romero to be victorious in this fight. We'll see how it plays out. Next up, we have a women's strawweight bout. We have Poliana, Dama de Ferro. De Ferro? De Fierro? De Ferro. Viana taking on Jacqueline Jaque Amorim. Now, it's an interesting fight. You have Amorim, who is 9-1-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Vanessa Demopoulos via submission. And then you have Viana, who is 13-7-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Jillian Robertson via KO. Now, you look at Amorim, she's a world champion in jiu-jitsu. She's, she lost in her debut. And then after that, she's been on a winning streak. As I mentioned, she has the jiu-jitsu. Her striking is improving, although she's primarily a grappler. Her boxing is getting better. She lands heavy hooks to the body. If you look at that fight against Demopoulos, her hooks to the body and her body shots look really good. I just think her jiu-jitsu is her bread and butter, right? I think she's on an upward trajectory, whereas Viana, she's kind of been hit and miss, right? Like you look at Viana, right? She has the striking edge. She lands about 3.8 significant strikes per minute. So she's going to have the more volume in this fight. I'm going to go with Amorim, though, man. I think she's on a run here. I think she's going to get it done.
Yeah, I want to see the fights, the odds going a little bit more as they go deeper in. I think they're going to give massive favorite to Amorim. I do think Amara wins, but there is a possibility that Viana takes it, and even sprinkling $5-10 for. I think she's going to become a plus 400 by next week. So we'll see.
I think this is the test for Amorim. Like, Viana, you can consider her a gatekeeper in the division, right? Kind of like, all right, we're going to put you up against her. If you're able to do well against her, you start getting bigger fights, right? And I think, you look at Viana, she has been stopped before, man, and her takedown defense isn't the best at 45%. I don't know. I got to see. I don't know. I think Amorim gets it done, man. I think her grappling is going to.
I'm gonna go with Amarin. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with Amarin,
Amorim.
but I'm gonna reassess. I'm gonna reassess the odds later because, like I said, like if she goes
before we started streaming, you said you were going to go Viana. What changed your
but
mind?
it's because of odds. Because of odds, though. I'll be honest with you, because of odds. But it's just
You let odds change your mind. Don't let
yes,
fuck the odds, bro.
absolutely,
Fuck the odds, bro. Nah, get the fuck out of it. Don't even look at the odds, bro.
No, no,
You
no, no,
you think
no. But not
no.
because. Okay, wait a minute. Not because of the win or the loss. I'm looking at from a money perspective. Because here's the thing, champ. Like if Amorim goes into 2 weeks from now, balloons up to minus 500, 600, even knowing she's probably going to win 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Viana for that one time because of the odds. That's not because of who, like, that's what I meant to say. Sorry. Because it's like Hopper and Miller. Like I knew that Hopper 8 out of 10 fights, he would have won, but Miller has that 2 dogs in him. And if you entice me with a plus 650, I'm going to throw $5-10. It's just mental.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on here.
Is.
We're both going with Amorim. So far, we're on the same. What happened?
Amarin is not a minus 500, and she will become a minus 500 that night. Okay,
we'll see. We are on the same page for the first 3 fights. Next up, we have Cameron Saaiman taking on Malcolm Wellmaker. Now, if you're familiar with Saaiman, when he first came on the scene, he was a highly touted prospect. There was some hype behind him because of his, kickboxing background and his combinations, his low kicks, his reach, everything, right? He looked good up until he got knocked out, right? He got knocked out by Peyton Talbot at UFC 300. Oh, and then who else did he lose to?
Christian Rodriguez.
He lost to Christian Rodriguez as well, right? He's on a 2-fight losing streak, right? He lost via unanimous decision. So Saaiman is 9-2-0 and is 3-5 in the last 5 bouts, last losing to Peyton Talbot via KO. Wellmaker is 8-0 and is 5-5 in his last 5 bouts, last beating Adam Bramford via KO in the Contender White Series. This will be his UFC debut. As I mentioned, Saaiman has the kickboxing background. He throws nice combinations. He does have knockout power. He is on a 2-fight losing skid, though. He lost to Christian Rodriguez via unanimous decision, and he got knocked out cold by Peyton Talbot at UFC 300. One of the things that's good about him is that he's comfortable in mixing in the takedowns with his striking. He has a 40% takedown accuracy. He has struggled against bigger opponents, and I'm not comparing them stylistically, but Wellmaker is 5'10", and then Peyton Talbot is also 5'10", right? So, being 5, I think Saaiman is 5'8". Is he 5'8"?
Payment?
Yeah, he's 5'8". So being 5'8", having 67-inch reach could be an issue going up against somebody like Wellmaker, who does have the 4-inch reach advantage, 4.5-inch reach advantage, and the 2-inch height advantage. But when you look at Wellmaker, right, he has the KO and the TKO power. He has a 75% finishing rate. Yeah, man, he's tall, lengthy. He has the knockout power, but it's betting on somebody who knocks somebody out in the Contender White Series. Like it hasn't done well, like in the past, right? In the past couple cards, you get me? And do you want to go with somebody in Saaiman who's has the UFC experience? He's on a 2-fight losing skid, or pick somebody who who's undefeated, who has that knockout power up against somebody who has some veterancy, right? Who has some veterans, some experience in the UFC. It's tough to call, but right now I think Wellmaker has he's the favorite, isn't he? Yeah, he's the favorite at a -130. So
not that much, though. That's the thing. It's not. Yeah, it's -125.
I think, I think the big question here is if Saaiman's able to incorporate the wrestling, we're going to learn a lot about Wellmaker, right? Because he only has 2 submission victories on his record, right? But that's on the lower level, and there isn't a lot of footage of him facing high caliber wrestlers or people with high level grappling. And I think Cameron's takedown game could expose whatever uncertainties we have of a Wellmaker, right? If he's unable to knock him out, you get me? If Cameron, he learns from that Peyton Talbot fight, because we always talk about this. When somebody gets knocked out, how are they going to look in their next fight, right? Like, what adjustments are they going to make? Are they going to be gun shy? What things are they going to incorporate different? We talk about that often, right, Floor Price?
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see if Saaiman approaches this with a wrestle-heavy game plan and to see how Wellmaker looks. So I honestly think it can go either way. I'm going to go with Cameron, man. I like Cameron. I think he has the more tools that we know of that could win this fight. And it's a smaller octagon. It's in Kansas City, right? So it's in Kansas. We don't know how they're going to judge it, right? Because I know in Vegas they love the wrestling, man.
Yeah, but it's small octagon now.
Small octagon. I think Cameron can get it done, man. I think Cameron's going to learn from the Peyton Talbot loss, right? And then he's going up against another striker with KO power. He's going to mix in the takedowns, right? Mix in the takedowns. I think he can get it done. I'm going to go with Cameron.
Go for Wellmaker, but I want to see if I want to see a little bit more. So I might change my pick.
Yeah, it's just hard because we haven't seen him tested on the ground, like truly.
Yeah, and I just want to see if sometimes, like, depending on the camps, like for this fight, like when it's so equal, I tend to go based off camps, right? But what I want to see if he gets a little bit more help for this camp, right? Maybe he signed up for a couple of Extreme Coutures, and they brought a couple of more wrestlers, and they're trying to But let's see. I'm going with
Yeah.
Wellmaker, but I'll make my We'll drop the picks and everything off the
Yeah, we'll
bat.
drop them. We'll drop
We might update them.
We're gonna upload the video, but we're not gonna drop the picks until next week. We'll upload the video and then we'll drop the picks with the video next week on X. So make sure you're following us on X for that. But for now, I'm going with Cameron Saaiman. You're going with Malcolm Wellmaker. And then we'll move on here to Damon Blackshear taking on Alantengheili. Oof, what a name. Healy Alantengheili. Blackshear is 16-7-1 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Cody Gibson via submission. Alatang is 17-9-2 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Clayton Rodriguez via unanimous decision. Now we know what Blackshear brings to the table. He's a submission specialist with 11 of his 16 wins by submission. His striking is improving. It's getting better. But when you look at his fight against Cody Gibson, right? Cody Gibson came out aggressive, came out hot, and he looked vulnerable in that first round. I think we were both kind of like on our edge, right? Because we both picked and bet on Damon Blackshear. Oh, you picked Cody Gibson, right? So you were excited. Yeah. You were excited. I was nervous because you know, in that fight, they panned over to Cody Gibson's family, and I said, "Oh no, my man's fighting for his family. He's fighting for his kids. He's gonna knock this dude out." But you know, the grappling prevailed. He woke up in the second round. He did look bad though against the pressure being brought to him, and that is concerning. Yeah. But his wrestling is solid. His jiu-jitsu is good. He's dangerous on the ground, as we mentioned. He's going up against Alatang, aka the Mongolian Knight. I think that's his nickname. Yeah. Is that his nickname? The Mongolian Knight. Badass nickname, bro. He likes to incorporate the wrestling with his crisp striking. He's primarily a grappler, bro. He likes to secure takedowns and control his opponents on the mat. And his striking isn't as technical, but he does utilize it to secure takedowns. It could be low volume, and he often relies on control than damage, right? So he rather just hold you on the ground and incorporate that damage and ground and pound and whatnot. And I think in this fight, I don't think he has the forward pressure of a Cody Gibson to overwhelm Blackshear. I think he has the striking ability to get takedowns, to secure takedowns, but I think once it gets on the mat, it's going to be a different game, right? It's going to be different. It's going to be different scrambles, different submission attempts from Blackshear, different positioning from both of them. I think Blackshear can get this done. I'm going to pick Blackshear to win this fight.
Yeah, I'm going Blackshear. I double down. If what's crazy is that Gibson came into that fight and his clear advantage to winning was grappling, but if he would have stayed striking him, pressuring him, he would have won. But he's decided to fuck around with the takedown, and Blackshear got the submission. So,
yeah,
live and learn, baby.
So we're both going with the Blackshear to be victorious. I think he gets it done here, man. I don't think the Mongolian Knight has the pressure of a Cody Gibson, right? To overwhelm him and kind of put him out early on, but we'll see. Next up, we have Chris Guttierrez taking on Sexy Mexi John Castaneda. We've broken down this fight 3 times, brother. Isn't that crazy?
Gutierrez, bro. I'm not going to.
We broke in this fight 3 times, man. This fight got canceled. This fight got canceled. All right. Want me to shut up? I'll shut up.
What we got to do is we got to incorporate the same clip. We got to copy.
Yeah, we got to incorporate the same clip because it's not going to change. I mean, we're both going with Guttierrez, right? But for the sake of the people watching, let's just break this down real quick. We have Guttierrez, who's 21-5-2 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Quang Lee via unanimous decision. Castaneda is 21-7-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Daniel Marcos via unanimous decision. I think this fight is, for me, the reason I'm going with Guttierrez and the reason you're probably going with Guttierrez as well is that he is the better, precise, technical striker with the kickboxing base, right? So he's going to be able to, if he's able to keep this fight at range, incorporate those leg kicks, he's gonna minimize and mitigate the momentum of Castaneda, who likes to utilize his boxing, getting close and then secure takedowns, right? He likes to get the wrestling going as well. I think Guttierrez is going to win, man. It depends. It literally, this fight just depends. It's pretty even. I think the odds are reflecting that, right? They're both minus 115. It depends on who moves forward, who applies pressure. If Guttierrez gets the range going, gets his kicks going, he's going to have success. He's going to win. But if Castaneda closes the distance, applies the pressure, gets the wrestling going, it could be long, bruv. Like our good friend Banter would say, it's going to be long, bruv. It's going to be long, bruv. But I'm gonna go with Chris Guttierrez. I think his striking and leg kicks will be too much for Castaneda. He's gonna chop him down. He's gonna win this fight.
Yeah. Besides that, like it's just experience based. Like I know sometimes we shouldn't bet on that, but Gutierrez, I think Gutierrez is hitting his prime. I haven't seen anything from Castaneda to tell me that he's better. Maybe prove in this fight, knock him out. But when it comes to striking, Gutierrez is a phenomenal. I like how his style has adapted to MMA. I like his fight against Yadong too. I liked it. And then Yadong dominated, but yeah, we're going with Gutierrez.
Yeah, and then looking at the stats, like I have the stats here in my notes. He has a 69% takedown defense. So he's difficult to get down and he's difficult to control. You have somebody in Castaneda who has a 71% takedown defense as well, but he has a 35% takedown accuracy, right? So he isn't always successful in securing the takedowns, right? He isn't always successful in getting the takedown. So it's going to be hard for him to close. For one, it's going to be difficult for him to close the distance. And it's also going to be difficult for him to get Gutierrez down, to control him for long duration of time and to apply a damage. So I'm going with Gutierrez to get this done, man. We'll move on here to our next bout. Hamad Hassanzada taking on Evan Elder. Let me find it here on my notes. We have Hassanzada, who is 12-3-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Dylan Montejo via sub. This is also his UFC debut. His last fight was a victory in the Dana White Contender Series where he got his contract. Elder is 9-2-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Darius Flowers via submission. Now, when you look at somebody like Hassanzada, he likes to incorporate his striking with his grappling effectively. He has 5 knockouts and 3 submission wins in his 12 wins, right? So he has fought in other organizations. He fought in LFA. He's fought a diverse group of opponents, right? Like he's fought strikers, he's fought grapplers, fought jiu-jitsu noobs, he fought all these guys. He has aggressive kickboxing. He has powerful kicks and overhand rights. His pacing has been a concern in the past, but it's improving, and his grappling is also improving, right? His wrestling is getting better. He's landing takedowns against Montejo. If you watch that fight, he did get takedowns in the later rounds, and he was able to control him. He's going up against somebody in Elder who has a boxing heavy style. He throws with a lot of output. He averages about 4.5 significant strikes per minute. His jab and body shots wear his opponent down. Like literally, like it's his bread and butter. He's good at that. So he has the experience. He has 4 UFC fights. Oh, it's gonna be a good fight, man. His cardio is exceptional. He's gonna be all pressure, no breaks for 3 rounds, and his takedown defense is pretty good at 60%. I'm going to go with Elder here, man. I think Elder's going to get it done. I like Elder.
Ikram.
Who's Ikram?
Why the fuck am I in this fight?
My boy's not paying attention.
I was like locked in. I'm like,
you said Ikram. I was like, we're going to get to that fight,
I was so locked in, and I'm like,
that's why you made that face. That's why you made that face, because you thought I picked the other guy. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're funny, brother. You thought I picked where is that fight? You thought I picked Andre Muniz? Get out of here, man. What are we doing? I'm going with Elder. We're on the Elder, and listen, guys. Before you continue, when you focus on your body and you focus on the gym life, you're not all there up there. Crazy. That's the sacrifices you make to look good, brother. That's all I'm gonna say. Who do you got, man?
I also got Elder, but I'm wondering if bro, this reach is a problem.
I don't know, man. I'm not listening to you when it comes to reach because there are fighters who do have the reach and you totally ignore it sometimes, and there are
Like,
fighters who
wait a minute, wait a
but
minute, wait a minute.
wait, and
Like,
then there are fighters who do
wait,
have it, and
wait,
then you use that as
like,
a whole.
no, no,
Get
no,
out
no,
of
no.
here. No, no,
Like,
no.
who was the last fight that I said that?
I don't even remember. I have to go through the tape. I have
I
to go through
remember
the tape.
Danny.
But there was one that I
Danny
told you.
Sean
There
Woodson.
was Cody Gibson. Perfect example. Cody Gibson. I said he has the height. He has the reach.
No,
Why?
no. Blackshear had a good range. No, no. Blackshear's a
No,
tall
not
guy.
Cody Gibson. I'm sorry. Chase Hooper.
Yeah, but I told you odds
Yeah, yeah. Look at that. You see
and
you
veterans.
hear the
There's
intonation in his voice.
equations.
Yeah, he was getting ready to lie.
There's
Go ahead,
equations
brother. Who
to
you
this
picking?
scam.
Go ahead. Who you picking?
Fucking hell. You think who has the better jab of these two gentlemen?
The better jab? It's the
Yeah,
boxer, man.
which is Elder. It's gonna be a little bit of an issue, man. Fuck. I'm gonna go with Elder. It's fine. I might change my mind later. I gotta do a little bit more. Go to these fights and would love to. Yeah,
That's a bad man to lose the Zadim.
yeah.
Nadim Sadikoy.
Didn't I pick?
Sadikov.
I picked Nazim.
Yeah, yeah, you picked him. You picked him. You picked him. You picked
You
him.
know what
Don't
happened. We
worry.
don't gotta bring it back, right? We don't bring it back.
You guys see how cocky he is on these streams, like when he picks something correctly, but off air, when one of my picks go well and I'm sending him voice messages, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the fire
I'm
that
working.
comes.
I'm working. I'm
He
writing.
says he's working,
I'm
and then I
writing.
wait till after the card and I try to call him, and then his phone's off. He
I'm
goes to
sleeping.
bed.
I'm sleeping, bro.
He goes to bed. So I don't know what's going on, man.
I'm sleeping, bro. But let's see. I'm gonna go with Elder. Might change my mind, but if I don't, I'm going with Elder.
Okay. As we mentioned, these are subject to change. Next up, we have a fight that I'm sorry, but I can fucking care less about, bro. Like, Matt Schnell versus Jimmy Flick. Schnell is 16-9-0 and is 1-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Cody Durden via submission, last losing to Cody Durden via submission. Flick is 17-8-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Nate Manis via unanimous decision. The reason I say I could care less about this fight is because in his last fight, Matt Schnell legit left his glove in the octagon and said he was going to retire. That was his last one. Yeah. So why is he back? Yeah. Why is he fighting again? I haven't heard in any interviews. I haven't seen anything that
he's covering. Man said, "I need to cover the rent, bro. I need to cover the rent.
Why is he back? That's literally what I have in my notes. Why is he back? He laid his gloves down in his last fight, right?
He gave Cody Durden the submission, bro. He after putting a whooping on Cody in the first round, and remember he was the underdog, bro. He put Cody on blast. And then what happened? What?
Then what happened in what?
Then what happened in the second round? He gave him the choke, bro. He just gave it him.
Yeah. And I think that fight could be similar to this because, Jimmy Flick, when you look at him, he has the jiu-jitsu, right? 88% of his wins come by submission. He is resilient despite being KO'd multiple times. He can be resilient, but he's very low volume on the feet, right? So if you're on the side on Matt Schnell, who also can submit, he can do well on the ground, but he also has good boxing, right? He has the 70-inch reach. He has okay boxing. He lands significant strikes. He's comfortable in exchanges. So are you on the side that Matt Schnell is going to have success on the feet and keep it standing? No. Or are you on the side that Jimmy Flick's going to take him down and choke him out, similar to how he lost his last fight?
Cody Durden, bro. Like, let's be honest.
I'm going to go with Matt Schnell, bro. I'm not going to prolong this. I'm going to go with Matt Schnell. I mean, really? Yeah, I'm going to go with Matt Schnell. He's coming back. I think he's coming back to get a victory, bro. That's it.
And then retire?
And then retire. He probably didn't like the way he probably didn't like the way he lost last fight. He's like, you know what? I could have. He probably saw the video. He said, you know what? I could have won that fight.
I was winning. I was winning the first round.
He's probably like that. He's probably like, you know what? I was winning the first round. I have one more in me. I'm not gonna go out like that.
Yeah, and psychology is there anything?
That's my thought process. Yeah. Because the way,
but a fighter psychology, when he gets in, when you look good in the first round, bro, and you're breathing good, it's fine. It's when motherfuckers get dirty.
Yeah, but did he get dirty or was it poor fight IQ?
I think Durden started to get a little bit dirty. Dirty started to get a little bit reckless and wild, and there was a situation where, yeah, the poor, it's a combination. I really think it's a combination. Is that he just mentally is do or die. I think it's chinny as well. He has an issue with the chin, but
Both do, yeah.
you're getting a guy, bro. Look at this motherfucker ugly, bro. Flick is gonna fucking look at this.
Who
Look,
ugly?
bro.
Who
Do I
ugly?
gotta zoom in, bro? Look at this.
Who's ugly, bro? Flick?
I'm ugly too, bro. I can't hate.
Hey, listen, I'm
Listen,
ugly too,
I'm
brother.
thinking
Listen,
Flick, bro. Anybody retires, bro, like it's hard, bro. But Flick,
I don't know. I'm of the mindset like
25.
you broke it down. I think you broke it down well. He probably saw like, you know what? I still have it in me. I was looking good. I made a mistake. I gave him the neck. I'm not gonna make that mistake. I want to go out on my shield.
But there's a possibility that it's money. It's money. It's the last fight. Let me fight my last contract. Let me see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, but like I said, I could care less about this fight. Bro.
But it's crazy how he's a minus 295, and when you look at the odds,
and that is our featured prelim. That's the as of now on Topology. And we're moving on to the main card here, where
because you know that there might be a knockout. Sorry,
we're moving to the main card where you already broke down this fight, bro. I already know your pick. You already spoiled it for the people watching, man. They're gonna skip this part. We have Ikram Aliskerov taking on Andre Muniz. Ikram is 15-2-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Robert Whitaker via KO. Muniz is 24-6-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Jung Young Park via split decision. Now, I'm gonna go with Ikram as well in this fight, man. You have somebody who has the striking power. He's comfortable with the striking. He's comfortable in the clinch, and he can grapple up against somebody who's pretty one-dimensional in Muniz, who's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? That's all. That's his bread and butter. Right? Pulls guard. He likes to get down on the ground. And he likes to work, right, and look for that submission. I think this fight comes down to whether Ikram can have success with the takedown defense against Muniz's takedown attempts and his submission game, right? I think he's going to have success on the feet. You know, he's going to have nice counter striking. I'm going to go with Ikram, man. People are going to see his last fight that he got KO'd and they're going to be like, oh, this guy, you know, he's out. But you got to look at the circumstances surrounding that, right? Like how that was a short notice fight and he had to fly across. He had to go to, I think, Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia to fight Whitaker. And he got KO'd. Yeah. So there was a lot of stuff that was happening, but prior to that, he was on a run. So I think he's going to continue that run here. And he's a minus 625 favorite. I think it's going to grow, but I'm going to go with Ikram.
I think I'm going to go with Muniz. Simple as that.
You just said Ikram. Why are you going the other?
No, I said Muniz. I said I like Muniz. I never said Ikram.
No. You said Ikram earlier.
No, I said Muniz.
You said Ikram, bro.
I said Elder.
No. When I said I'm going with Elder, you said Ikram, bro. You said
no. Roy, look at this. Look at that. Come on, that's disgusting. Minus 6'2", 625.
Well, are you picking just based on the odds?
No. So here's the thing about I like Muniz, but I also see massive potential.
We need to use a different site, man. I don't like the odds. The odds.
No, but I'm not picking because of that. Like I'm not like bro. He's that good, but again, Alves to me was worn out a while ago. Phil Hawks is chinny. Sousa's whatever, but I think Muniz has fought the tougher competition, bro. Like, look, Uriah Hall got him out of there. Eric Anders went before Eric Anders was on the way out. Let's be honest with you. Lost to Allen, top 15. Lost to Paul Craig. That's where I'm just like, shit. He lost to Paul Craig.
Go with Muniz, brother. You like these odds. Go with Muniz.
I like Muniz, bro. I like
damn, 5%. Boys are degenerates, man. Look at them.
Yeah, this will not be in a parlay. This will be a money line bet, and this will be. I hope they give it to me at plus 800 this weekend. They won't, but
we'll move on. It's not this weekend. It's next weekend, by the way. Next weekend.
Right.
Move on to Randy Brown taking on Nicholas Dalby. Now, Randy Brown is 19-6-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Brian Battle via split decision, where You can argue that it could have gone either way. Dalby is 23-5-1 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Renat Fakhretdinov via split decision. Brown, he's a versatile striker with the grappling upside. He's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Dalby, he strikes heavy. He has good cardio, and he's known for durability, right? So this fight hinges on whether you believe that Dalby's going to put him up against the fence, breathe heavy on him, be weird, control him on the fence, similar to what Battle did, and then win via that route, just dogging it out. Or do you think that Brown's going to get the striking going, mix in the grappling, get some key takedowns, work him, put him out maybe? I'm going to go with Randy Brown here, though. I think
Randy Brown.
Randy Brown.
Bro, but it's also like this fight right here, the Battle versus Brown fight. Like, Battle had a very hard time taking him down.
Yeah.
And Battle's good, bro. Like, you love Battle, fucking the Frenchman.
The French enemy, bro.
The French killer, the French.
Yeah, I like that.
We're gonna go with Brown, bro. Where the age, I think I think Nicholas Dalby has gotten more comfortable in the UFC. I don't necessarily mean he's good in his prime. I think Randy Brown is coming into his prime. I think he's gonna range the shit out of him and just go for the kill.
No. He's gonna range the shit out of him and then land that big shot. I think Dalby, if he wants success, he's gonna have to close the distance, get in the clinch, right? Incorporate some body shots, and then put him up against the cage, put him up against the fence. But I think
that's gonna be hard, bro.
I think Brown just has more. He's younger, he's faster, he has more tools.
Because Battle has better conditioning than Dalby. Let's not fuck with that.
Okay. So we're both going with Randy Brown, right?
Yeah. Okay. I like to debate, bro. I know this ain't Twitter, bro, but we get debate here, bro. A little once in a while, who has the better gas tank?
We can debate, bro, but listen, we can debate, bro, but we can't let odds. You can't let the odds.
No, brother.
Where I was going with that. Where I was going.
Of course,
now, if Dalby was a plus 900, would you have changed your pick?
Maybe, yes. And the reason why, because it was a split decision. And yeah. But it's just hard, right? This is a tough fight for Dalby. At plus 900, bro, fuck yeah. $10 get you $90, 100, almost 100. Yeah. We'll see. But we'll see.
Next up, we have Michel Pereira taking on Abus Magomedov. Now, Pereira is 32-12-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Anthony Hernandez via KO, where he looked defenseless on the ground. He was taken down, he was controlled, he was mauled, and he was fucking beat with that vicious ground and pound. Magomedov is 27-6-1 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Bruno Ferreira via sub, where he secured the submission, but he was taking damage early on. If you go back and rewatch that fight, he was getting clipped, he was getting hurt, and this is a 3-round fight. He's going up against Michel Pereira, who's flashy. His, he looks like, I think I've explained it before in the past, he looks like someone's just, button mashing the controller, right? And he's doing all these crazy things. He's doing flips, he's doing kicks, he's doing punches, spinning attacks. He's athletic, he's durable, he's explosive. He likes to utilize the clinch. And then you go up against Magomedov, who is a kickboxer with technical striking. His kickboxing is nice. He has effective teeps, front kicks, and combinations. He's adept at maintaining the distance. I think this fight is going to be interesting, but prior to Pereira losing to Anthony Hernandez, he was on a streak, right? He was like, what, an 8-fight winning streak? Or was it 8 or 9? He was fucking getting people out of there, man. He was looking good. I think he's going to win this fight, man. I think Pereira's going to, that forward pressure, right? Just based on the fact that Abus was getting tagged by Bruno Ferreira early on, right? I think it's going to be more of the same here. Now, if Abus is able to incorporate grappling or, survive that first round and then tire out Pereira, because he has gotten tired in the past, right? Like when you're explosive, your explosiveness fades away, right? So if he survives that first round and round and a half and Pereira starts to get tired and then Abus starts to incorporate the wrestling, incorporate the grappling, get him down, it could be a different fight. So it depends on how you see this fight going, but I think Pereira is going to get back in the W column.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with Pereira. I mean, a couple different factors here. We don't have a fucking Fluffy Hernandez in front of you. Fluffy Hernandez just beat Arnold Allen, bro. Brandon Allen.
Yeah. Damn, bro. I didn't realize there's a 5-inch reach advantage. That's crazy.
Baby. Yeah.
A boost has the reach.
But
has the reach.
But the thing is, bro, like when you're the thing is, I mean, let's see what the odds are next week when it comes to decisions, KOs, and all that different stuff. Even if he has the advantage, bro, he has a good jab. But it's also look at Ferreira. Ferreira almost took him out of there. Let's be honest, right? Ferreira almost spiked him up a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the props. I think Pereira inside the distance, decision, no action, maybe. Pereira, under 1.5 rounds.
This is also a 3-round fight. It's not a 5-round fight.
Under 1.5 rounds would be good. It's going to be interesting to see the props.
I want to see like the beginning of Pereira versus Hernandez to see if he was at least winning the first round or was he taken down right away.
Yeah, you got to rewatch that.
I got to watch it, but I don't think Abuz tries to take him down right away. I don't think that's not his demeanor. Heavily. 175 is actually pretty good. Let's hopefully they drop his odds, like they make him a little bit more. Give me a little bit more dog money. Give me even. Give me minus 105. Let's see.
Right on. We're both going with Pereira to win this fight. Next up, we have Giga Chikadze taking on David Onama. Chikadze is returning to the octagon. He is 15-4-0 and is 3-5 in his last 5. Last losing to Arnold Allen via unanimous decision. Onama is 13-2-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Ramos via unanimous decision, who we just broke down, right? Chikadze, he's an elite kickboxer with a karate background and a glory kickboxing background, right? Like he has good striking. He's elite striking. He's been inactive, however, right? He throws devastating body kicks, head kicks, and precise counters. He utilizes his range really well. And he has good striking defense. He's going up against Onama, who's a power puncher with a kickboxing base. His grappling is improving, as we saw it in his fight against Ramos, right? He was able to look good on the ground with the scrambles. He does have the speed and the explosiveness, which give him the edge in this fight. He has the momentum. He has been active, and he has the grappling upside in this fight, in my opinion.
Why is this portrayed as lightweight?
What happened?
Why is this portrayed as lightweight? Like, why is it
says lightweight and featherweight? I don't know what this fight is at. Is it at featherweight or lightweight?
Regardless, like, there's a little. Well, there's 2-inch reach advantage.
What is it at? Is it at?
It
should be a lightweight. I think it's going to be a lightweight. Yeah, it's going to be a lightweight.
So Giga's coming up.
So Giga's coming up. When was his last fight?
Let me see. It says 145, which is strange. It just doesn't make any sense to abandon a ranking for a guy that's not ranked.
Was in 2024.
I'm trying to fucking see.
It's weird, yeah. Is he coming? I think he's coming up.
Burrito's a featherweight, right?
Burrito?
Yes.
He's a featherweight. He's a featherweight, yeah.
Okay. So Sabatini beat Pierce. Yeah, this fight is at featherweight. I just don't understand why they have Omana. Confused me a bit. It's at featherweight.
I think it's because the Roberto Romero fight was short notice, so they did it at lightweight.
Okay.
I think that's why. So they probably kept it as a lightweight. I'm going with Chikadze.
I'm going with Giga too.
No, I'm going with Onama. I'm just kidding. I picked Onama. I picked Onama. Chikadze, yeah, like I said, I mean, what are the odds? It's pretty even, huh? 1 + 150.
This is a good fight, actually. This is a very good fight for both
36
fighters.
years, 6'0", 5'11".
David is gonna have to really switch it up.
I think David's gonna showcase a lot of his tools, the grappling, the striking, because Chikadze, he's really good kickboxer with the striking, but he's one dimensional in the sense that he doesn't really incorporate the grappling in his fights, right? Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Giga, baby.
It's a good fight. No, I'm not mad at it. Giga, I'm going with Onama.
Can we skip this one, bro? Can we say Zhang?
Yeah.
Let's say Zhang.
We're both. So this next fight is Anthony Smith up against Ming Yang Zhang. Smith is 37-21-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Dominic Reyes via KO. Zhang is 18-6-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Ozzy Diaz via KO. Now, Smith, when you look at Smith, he has the kickboxing and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He has not looked good as of late. He's struggled with personal issues. You know, he's like in his last fight, he was willingly taking damage because he shouldn't have been in the octagon, right? Like he lost his close friend, his childhood friend, and he was just in there just willingly taking punishment, right? Talking to himself. Yeah. He talks to himself. I know you have an issue with him being very critical on fights and not being critical in his own fights. I saw you were going in on X.
That was horrible.
He's going up against Ming Yang Zhang, who's an explosive kickboxer with devastating knockout power, man. A lot of his wins, most of his wins come via the first round, you know? And I think this fight's going to be like his like knockout that big name fight, right? Like in Anthony. What's Anthony Smith ranked right now? 15?
Anthony Smith, I think he's out of the division.
He's out of the division.
I would, yeah. He's out
of the rankings. Yeah, you know, I think Ming Yang Zhang, I think he puts him out, man. It's just sometimes you don't have to look at it too much. It just makes sense, right?
Rocket science, yeah. This ain't rocket science. You got a guy that is not motivated to fight anymore, has everything to lose, and when he locks up, bro, it's just he just wants a whooping, bro. Like this fight is basically okay. This is my farewell fight. Let's see how he copes, because that's the other thing too, right? Last fight was he shouldn't have fought his last fight, bro. Especially with a killer like Ray is.
And he has gone to this. I'm looking at Zhang's record. He has gone to the distance before, so it's not like his cardio could be an issue.
We deal with a fighter, bro.
Yeah, he's gonna knock him out, bro.
The thing is that like the speed is in there, the jump is in there. The only thing that could quote unquote save him is the grappling. Right? And what are the odds of that?
He also has a submission game, so
yeah, but you have to give Anthony Smith the grappling. I think if it's a grappling fight, Smith wins, but the takedown, like it's just a variety of different things and motivation.
Yeah.
This is not about him as a commentator, so I'll remove the commentator bias from him. Yeah. The reach is there.
Ming Yang Zhang. Let's move on.
Ming Yang.
Ming Yang Zhang.
I'm trying to find a way. It's just the explosive stuff isn't there anymore for him. Like it's not. Like this is not the fighter that submitted Gustafsson or
no. It's not the same guy.
It's not the same guy. Let's be honest, right? This guy has a comfy job, retirement fight, and that's the thing, man. Like when you work behind the desk, bro. They love you, bro. Like, you know, all these desk guys, bro, they for their fights, last fight, they show them love. And
yeah. We'll move on to our main event. This was originally supposed to be Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree, but Jamal Hill suffered a leg injury, a foot injury, leg injury. I'm not 100% sure, but he pulled out. And comes in Carlos Prates, removed from UFC 314 when he was originally supposed to fight Jeff Neal. In comes in Ian Machado Garry. This is our main event in the welterweight division. Number, I think 13 versus 7. I think those are their rankings. 14 versus 6 or 13 versus 7.
Right now. 7 versus 13.
7 versus 13. So Ian Machado Garry is currently ranked number 7 in the welterweight division, whereas Carlos Prates is number 13. Garry is 15-1-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Shavkat Rakhmonov via unanimous decision. He put his O on the line and got it taken away from him. Prates is 21-6-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Neil Magny via KO, which looked a little suspect, right? That KO was kind of weird. Neil Magny just plop to the ground. It was like a phantom punch.
Magny's chinny too. Like
That's Magny. Yeah. That's Magny. I'm not taking anything away from him. Prates is a bad man. That's the Marlboro man. What are we talking about here? Garry, he's a solid striker. He throws with volume and technique. He does have the ability to wrestle, as we saw against MVP. Michael Venom Page, his striking was a little too nice. He realized, like, listen, I got to switch it up here. I got to incorporate the grappling. He also showed good grappling and scrambling ability up against Shavkat Rakhmonov, right?
Yeah.
He had him in that tight, I think it was a rear naked choke he had him in the later rounds. So, but if you look at MVP has poor takedown defense, right? Like, historically, he has poor takedown defense because his striking so good. People that are able to take him down and control him. Prates, he has gone the distance before. He has good cardio. He's a long raging striker with great kicks. He likes to throw them to the legs, body, head. He fights at a high pace throughout the entirety of the fight. He has the Muay Thai as well. And he's training with the fighting nerds, as we always mention. The core four, they look good, man. They have good game plans. And we saw how Silva looked against Bryce Mitchell. Everybody who had that thought in their mind that, oh, Gene Silva, he's going to get taken down. He's going to get controlled. Oh, man, he only has striking. And they incorporated a good game plan where they were able to secure that ninja choke right as he shot in. I think in this fight, it's going to be interesting, man. Do you think Ian Garry turns into a grappler in this fight?
He's going to need every single martial art Ian Garry in this fight. He's going to need to overwhelm him. I am going to go with Ian Garry. I'm going to be 100 with you.
Okay. Why?
I just like what he's done. Like, I like what he's done. Marlboro man, there's a speed and power advantage, and then you add the footwork, and that's what I like. I tend to favor fighters with better footwork than power, especially when you have a better grappling than Prates. So if he comes in trying to blow for blow with, you know what, bro? You know what it really is? Like, man, this is such a tough fight. I'm going to go with Garry, just movement. I think he's going to be able to in, out.
I think Carlos Prates, he has the Muay Thai, and I think in situations where Garry, because, Garry has a judo background, right? Where Gary's going to try to incorporate those trips, try to get into the clinch, I think, or even push him up against the fence. I think Prates is going to have some success, and I think that's what he's banking on. He's going to be able to kind of showcase that. And I think I asked you this a couple weeks ago. I said, which one of the fighting nerds do you think is going to have their first L, right? And I think you mentioned Carlos Prates, didn't you?
Yeah.
You said Carlos Prates, and I think you mentioned it's because the welterweight division has a lot of grapplers, correct?
Yeah.
But look at that reach, man. Why are you going against your own philosophy? What are we doing?
Because the in and out movement, it's so good. Like, and also the 6'3" negates a little bit. I just think we're gonna get a style where Muay Thai meets kind of like Taekwondo, and when I say Taekwondo, it's more Prates will be pressuring. How about that?
Prates will be pressured, and we also seen Prates get taken down. If you look at his fights in the Contender Series, he did have times where he was taken down. He was able to get up in those. He wasn't controlled for like long durations. He was taken down, but he was able to bring it back up to the feet. And I think, Prates, he was training for Jeff Neal, right? So he's had the longer time preparing for a fight, whereas Ian Garry is a month out, right?
The other big thing is, like, we call him Marlboro man, but what is he going to look like in the fourth round? We know what.
I'm not concerned with this. Against
cardio. A fighter like Ian Garry.
Yeah, I'm not concerned with this.
Concerned. I'm very concerned.
Have you seen him in any of his fights that have gone past the first round, him looking tired?
No, he looks good, but you're dealing with a guy with Ian Garry. It's going to put volume on you.
He talks about how he trains for. He talks about how he wants to he talked about how he wants to win the belt because he's tired of training for these 5-round fights, man. He's like, yo, I want to just win the belt already and retire because training for these 5-round sparring sessions are killing me, bro. He's cut back on smoking. He's cut back on drinking. So I think he's taking this pretty serious. I think he's gonna look good. I'm not concerned in the 4th, 5th round.
So you're going Prates then?
I'm gonna go with Carlos Prates, man. I do think like when I asked you that question, who's gonna be the first one to lose? I
I
don't
think,
think I think it's gonna
yeah,
be
but
Hoofy. I think
bro,
it's gonna
but
be
seeing
Hoofy in the light.
Gary, seeing
I think it's gonna. I'm sorry, I was trying to answer the question. Go ahead.
no, answer,
No,
answer.
what were you saying about Gary?
Gary was one round away from winning the belt. The intro, sorry, the not the belt, sorry, the number one contender against Bilal.
Listen. Lopez was one punch away from winning the featherweight championship, brother,
That's crazy.
and he
Okay,
didn't win. No, I'm just saying. All these what ifs. I'm just saying.
we're
You
gonna
can't
find
use
out.
that argument. You can't use that argument, bro. Dominic
Well,
Reyes. Hey,
okay, yes,
Wait,
but
hold on. Dominic Reyes was one judge away from beating John Jones.
bro, don't bring that.
You don't
Don't.
like that one? Huh?
No, bro, because it's like we just need to go back. And fans love it because fans are fucking toxic. Fans, you're right, brother. He was gifted because of that. What did the UFC do? Okay,
Listen,
bro.
brother. Listen,
Here's
brother.
John Blahovic.
We'll move on. I didn't mean to offend you. Let's move on. Let's move
You
on. Let's
triggered
move
me,
on.
bro. I'm triggered now.
I know you got triggered. Let's move
I'm
on.
gonna get attitude to my wife. My wife's gonna get pissed at me, bro. What do you want me to
Listen,
do?
brother. Listen, don't drink a White Claw and don't get crazy, brother. Just calm down.
Crazy.
Calm down.
Ian Gary. I think the conditioning is gonna be a lot, bro. That's the thing. I like. Oh, okay, who do you have? Carlos Prates versus MVP. What's a better? Um, I know it's different styles too, right? Because Carlos Prates could take those legs away, but
And
who
he
do
can
you
also
have?
take him down. He can also take him down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think Gary's gonna present a problem. Like when I look at this fight, I look at Gary. It's not that Gary said, because Gary's very careful on how he takes fights. He looked at a fight and he said, Prates is a favorite. If I pick him on and I beat him, it makes it look like it's last minute.
Prates is an underdog right now.
Yeah, but it's very even. Like it's extremely even. Like this fight is like.
Well, Gary also said he wants to fight the best in the world. Like he doesn't care, right? And I just think, and I hate to use this, man, because everyone uses it, but I just think that camp right now is they do really good job of preparing their guys, man. And we saw it with Gene Silva. Everybody was banking on he was going to knock him out. No one said he was going to get that submission, right? No one predicted that he was going to look that good in the takedown defense. And I think striker versus striker, with Gary incorporating the grappling, we're going to see some things from Prates, man, I think. We're going to find out. I could be wrong. We're going to find out. As I always love to say, we're going to find out, brother. But I am going with Carlos Prates. I don't think Ian Gary's the guy to beat him.
I respect it. But like I
So
said,
you're thinking this is going to the fourth and fifth. You think this is going to go to decision?
Oh, Ian Gary's going to drag it out. He's going to drag
so?
it out. Yeah, he's going to drag it out. Like he's going to drag it out. And the Shavkat fight, bro, I gave so much respect to Gary because he dragged it out. He just literally Shavkat dragged it out. But the thing is,
I could see Gary incorporating some calf kicks, moving around, kind of like, kind of making Prates chase him to your point, like tire him out, right? And kind of win that way. Like you mentioned, move in and out, hit the legs, throw a combo and then move out to the outside and make Prates be the aggressor. That is a possibility. I could see that happening, but we'll find out, man. We're going to find out in Kansas City.
Yeah. And the one thing I'll say that the thing to assess is the Prates has power and Gary has been clipped. Gary has been very close to losing in the past. So if you look at I'm not talking about the Daniel Rodriguez. I'm not talking about Neil Magny. I'm talking about even fights before that there was a fighter. Like let me actually go in so I could just reminisce because this is stuff that you observe and you say, okay, well, Kenan Song is what Kenan Song. Yeah, Kenan Song clipped him, had him hurt, right, and he came back and recovered. If that same punch that landed in the first round would have been Prates, I think he gets him out of there. But that was 3 years ago. You feel me? And that's where I'm kind of where I think he's a much mature fighter. He's just gonna have to.
He took Magny to a decision.
Gary?
Yeah,
bro. He what he did against Magny. Like if you watch that fight, it was brutal, bro. He beat he.
But he beat him. But why wasn't he able to put him out?
He dropped him a couple times from kicks, from punches, if I'm not mistaken.
Put him out.
I don't think Garry possesses the same abilities as Machado. You feel? Sorry, as Prates. Sorry, Prates.
The same
Now,
power.
who's representing Brazil?
Well, you see it right
Machado.
there. You see it right there. Prates, bro.
I know, but Machado,
the Ireland flag, man.
My boys speak Portuguese and Portuguese.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. I think this is a good fight, and we'll see. We'll learn. And I'm gonna be interested to see if Machado Garry incorporates the wrestling, incorporates the grappling as we've seen him in the past. But to answer your question, right? The question that I asked actually was, who do I think loses in the Fighting Nerds? I don't think it's Protz. I think Hoofy probably has the most trouble with that division, that lightweight division. There's a lot of killers there, man. It's a lot of killers there.
But I think Hoofy's getting so like.
You think he's
Hoofy
getting?
has literally mimicked Conor McGregor, but
Yeah, but if he's mimicking Conor McGregor by your logic, what was Conor McGregor's what was his kryptonite? What was his issue?
The takedowns, but it's a little bit different.
The takedowns in the gas tank, because we saw him up against James Lontop. Granted, James Lontop was bigger. He did get tired though in that fight. And up against somebody with a pressure grappler, it could be long, bro.
Yeah, the thing is that as these guys kind of progress, they take the training a little bit more seriously. They start to incorporate very heavy levels of conditioning, and this is Protz's first main event. So let's see how he handles it. Like this is don't get me wrong, bro. This is a very, very, very good fight. I would want let's observe the odds as they climb, eh? That's the only thing I ask you.
I think it's gonna shift. I think right now it's the week off. I think at the fight week it's gonna either be near even, and we might see Garry as the underdog and Protz as a favorite.
I would love.
I think right now it's just too early. Nobody's betting.
I'm gonna bet regardless on Garry. Gary's gonna get a big bet on me.
I'm gonna be intrigued. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more. I'm gonna have to look a little bit more in depth to see if the likelihood of this going the distances is actually going to happen.
If Garry wins, it might be by.
How many decisions has Garry? How many decisions has Garry gone to?
Oh, a ton. Magny. He took O'Neal, and the O'Neal fight was weird.
Neil.
Yeah, sorry, Neil. The Neil fight was weird because Ian did win. That is not a close decision. It's just how it implemented, right? Michael Venom Page, that's another fight that he had to decision. So he's been in the last. Okay, to answer your question, out of 5 fights, he's been in 4 decisions. Only one.
His last 5, yeah.
That's why I'm counting on the fact that he's coming in, and then he's had only one main event. This is Prada's first. Oh no, this is Prada's second main event. Sorry, second main event.
He's gone
because he did Neil Magny actually. Yeah,
Neil Magny took him out. Yeah,
took him out. That's actually good. So he kind of prepared for 5 rounds. So yeah, but preparing for 5 rounds and going 5 rounds, champ, I think it's very different. But
I'm gonna watch the I need to watch the Jeff Neal fight again.
Bro, what a kid! Look, four performance of the night, eh?
I need to watch that Jeff Neal fight again, that split decision with Garry. I don't remember that one too well.
Yeah, but what I would say is just look at the footwork. More than anything, I think he has Wonder Boy Thompson level footwork. That's what I like about Machado, and the fact that he's been kicked out of so many gyms because he's like TJ Dillashaw in that regard, where he goes too hard, bro, and he films. So you film, you go hard on your opponent. But like I said, I'm not discounting Prades. Prades is no joke. It's just the mobility. I tend to factor in point fighters a little bit more sometimes, depending on. Garry hasn't been knocked out yet, but maybe he gets knocked out, champ.
It's a possibility for everything, man. Nothing is a surprise in this game, right? Yeah. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. There you have it. We almost went for 2 hours. What the fuck? Thank you for tapping in, guys. That is our full card breakdown. We will be back to, I think right after this, it's Sanhagen, right? Figueiredo?
Sanhagen.
No. I'm saying the card,
No,
bro.
no, no,
Fucking
no, no.
guy, bro. This fucking guy, bro.
No. He's getting a little bit
This
trolly,
guy.
but yeah, next week we have the following. Yeah, not next. Like in 2 weekends from now, we have. Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Let me check. I don't like that. I think so, bro. I like to speak with confidence, brother. You gotta speak with chest. You gotta say with chest. You gotta say with chest, papa. How do you tell me? I'll look it up right now.
Say with your chest.
Say it with. But it's, you know what? I'm not surprised because you don't work out chest. You only work out whatever you do.
Hey, actually did chest. I actually did, bro. Don't.
Whatever you're doing here, brother. I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah, don't worry about that, bro.
Upcoming. So we have Sanhagen versus Figueiredo the following week on May 2nd. So there you have it, guys. There is our full card breakdown for UFC Fight Night Machado versus Garry. As always, we aim to remain transparent. We aim to remain accountable for our picks, for our bets. You know, last week we both had Diego Lopez winning just based on momentum. There was that recency bias, I would say, but it made sense, right? It made sense. And Volk looked good. He capitalized on opportunities. His counter striking looked good. His point striking looked good. He looked good. He looked crisp. And I'm excited to see what he does with his first defense. This is our breakdown. Make sure you tap in on X. The link is in the description below. Show some love. Any parting words, my man?
See you 2 weeks from now.
We'll see you on 2 weeks. Love what you love. Do what you do. Peace.